Hi, Charlie. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you doing, Scott?
Not too bad. Thank you so very much for participating in the press day for this really unique and great film.
Thank you so much for having me and taking the time. I really appreciate it, man.
Were you familiar with the book prior to getting the script?
I was not familiar with the book prior to getting the script, but then after I got the script and read the script and then spoke with Tor over Skype, I think it was. And then, I started to kind of get my head wrapped around doing that along with, doing my own research on, the illness, but also my own research on cooking and chef school and all that stuff as well, reading the book. And fortunately, because it's and this is the case with the movie as well, but in the perspective of Adam, it made it just another tool that I could use to kind of access what this guy is going through and what he's thinking, moment to moment.
I watched this movie with my wife, who actually suffers from bipolar disorder. And we were really just taken back, as I said, with your performance. In terms of actually the research involved for getting into the mindset of what it was like to have schizophrenia, what was that research process like? And have you personally, like, ever dealt with someone who had schizophrenia or any sort of mental illness?
Well, to answer your first question, most of my research came from having conversations with psychiatrists that specialize in working with young men, mostly ages about 17 to 25, who are either recently diagnosed or have been living with the illness for a couple years. And that was really helpful for me because I felt like if I got lost in the, in just the technicalities of the illness rather than it always coming back to a human place and just in this guy's life, remembering that up until we meet him, he has thought of his life in a completely different way and had these dreams and had these struggles that, now in the scheme of things seem much maybe smaller than what he's now having to deal with. But that was always really the focus for me, I think. And that was so insightful and helpful to have these conversations with these guys who really have an understanding of what it's like for anyone, but especially a young person, to be kind of dealing with the everyday of that and how that also bleeds into the rest of your life and manifests in other ways. So that was really, really important. And then to answer your second question, I mean, I do have members of my family that suffer from very similar, not schizophrenia specifically, but similar illnesses in which they do have auditory hallucinations. And so that was always something that, of course, I was incredibly compassionate about, but not something that I had a wealth of knowledge about in terms of the science behind it and what we do know about it. So that really came in the process. But, I've been dealing with panic attacks ever since I was 17. And so I could somewhat connect to the idea of losing control and the fear of that and what that ends up manifesting in. And I think it's just different for this guy, obviously, than it would ever be for me. But having that somewhat being in as well was somewhat helpful.
Well, thank you very much, Charlie. I'm a big fan of your work so far. You're going to have a long, bright future ahead of you. I can't wait to see what you do next. Congratulations on the film once again.
Thank you so much, Scott. And I love the Nightmare Before Christmas setup, by the way. I'm a huge fan. Ever
Thank you
since I
so
was
much. Yep, all the original stuff from 1993, baby.
Yeah, Lock, Stock, and Barrel were always my three favorite characters. So I love
Yeah, they're awesome. All right, man. Thank you so very much. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.